Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the 30th of June episode of the live stream. Since this is the 30th of June, tomorrow is a national holiday here in Canada, known as Canada Day. It wasn't always called Canada Day. In fact, up until I was about 12 or 13 or so, I believe it was called Dominion Day, but it is no longer called that. I'm going to start off tonight with a little sip of tea because my throat is a little scratchy, a little dry. Excuse me, and my sinuses are, of course, going nuts. Tonight's beer is an Ale d'Érable by Saint Ambroise. So I'm not a big fan of maple booze or maple alcohol of any form, but I'm out of other beer. I did not buy any for tomorrow, so I guess it's going to be a dry Canada. Well, let's not be bombastic, but I did not buy any beer for tomorrow. So there it is. It's a nice dark color. And it is mapley. Excuse me. So we did decide that I would talk about my fire kit tonight. And I mean, there's all kinds of room for that, that's for sure. First, I want to see who's kicking back with us. Also, hilariously, today, my issue of Canadian Geographic arrived, and there's an article about the Rangers. So maybe we'll pop it open, and I probably won't read you the article, but maybe we'll look at some pictures or something. How to make a Mi'kmaq hockey stick. Tell you what, let's rip this open first, just to get that out of the way, and then we'll say hi to everyone who's anyone, and then we'll. Whoa, what the hell's all this pap? Oh ho! I don't know what that is. Subscribe now. Try a free issue. All the junk. And I guess this is like this is a map of some sort. Oh, Jamie Hansen, right? Yeah. Okay. I am never going to hang that on my wall. Where were we? Right. We were at the gonna say hi to everyone who's anyone. Gonna take another sip of this beer. So at 8:46, which was right after I put this baby up, we had Peanut Trucker being number one. Just scrolling back a little bit to see. Wow, Peanut Trucker, Peanut Trucker, Peanut Trucker. And then finally, Christy popped in. Peanut Trucker, by the way, is a channel mod, so be nice. At 8:50, Christy, who is a channel hero, popped in to say hi. And then asked Chris where he is. I'm also wondering where you are on this beautiful Canada Day evening. Birmingham, Alabama. Hot and humid. It's kind of hot and humid here too. We're under a yellow warning for weather. No, yellow warning is tomorrow, starting at noon. Humidex value is between 40 and 44. Ugh. No. Today it was the high was 28 and the low was 19, or the low will be 19. It's currently 24 degrees Canadian. The humidity really does make it suck more, though. Trucker says storms came through the Midwest Saturday and it's been hit hot ever since. 100 every day. No storm here today, which is nice. We did have a storm a couple of days ago, which didn't take. It wasn't like really long. Like in French, there's a difference between like an orage and an averse. Like one is short and sharp, and the other kind of lasts the afternoon or whatever. But I don't know if there is that kind of sort of a distinction in English. Like, unless it is like a squall, a short, sharp one versus a storm. I'm not sure. My sinuses are really kicking me today, so if I'm snorking and hawking, sorry, peeps. Got a little overheated loading in Iowa. Thank God you got a shower in your truck. You got a shower in your truck. Where the hell does one fit a shower? I'm just sort of scrolling down here. There's Country Boy. How are you doing? Scrolling. Country Boy, by the way, is a channel hero, for which I am grateful. How you doing tonight, Scott? Yeah, I was a little late. I ran upstairs last minute and then ran back downstairs. Realized I needed to add just a little je ne sais quoi to the thumbnail to mark the day. Ran out of time, but I'm here. Scott's gonna have a beer, as am I. A tea and a biscuit. I'm also having a tea, but I do not have any biscuits tonight. Actually, I did buy some chocolate chip cookies after I picked the squeak up from day camp. Stopped off. It was Taco Tuesday, so but I didn't have any tortillas. So on the way home we stopped off at Provigo, which is just in English Canada it's called Loblaws. It's just a big grocery store chain to pick up some tortillas, and Clem saw some little chocolate chip cookies and squealed. I was like, oh, she did the squeal. So I bought the damn chocolate chip cookies. But I did not bring any down. Destiny, how you doing? Yeah, I'm up. I'm fairly well. I'm fairly well. Not a lot of pain, just a little bit of irritation. But I'm usually irritated anyway, so it's not really out of my way. Peanut Trucker is telling everyone to do the what they think is right. And what you think is right is to give me a thumbs up, because I'm working my butt off here. Carol, how you doing? How's it going, Carol? You seen any storms lately? How's the weather? Are you in a hot, humid mess like I am? It's not even that bad yet. Like August is going to be terrible. But we do love to complain. Yes, I got to mention. How are you doing, Destiny? Are you having a charcuterie board tonight? There's Mr. Paul. How are you doing? What are you drinking tonight, Paul? I don't know what to do about the whiskey part of tonight. I have rye. Oh, I got to get over my face so it doesn't. So I have this rye that Destiny introduced me to. Excuse me. I have the bourbon that Scott introduced me to. And those are both Canadian, so apropos. What else do I have? Ooh, the Victoriana. Oh, and cognac. I brought down a cognac after the last live stream, Paul. Everyone's just saying hi. Destiny, how's the recovery? Any pain upon certain movements? Yeah, look, I still can't carry anything. Stretching, like to grab something, is still a bit of an issue. Like touching it is like it's tender. It gets irritated really easily. Like I can drive now because I'm like not on any of the really killer meds, but the seatbelt really irritates it. Why is my YouTube page stopped? I am sorry. I like to watch along to because that's how I know if there's been any if there's any buffering or if I'm suddenly looking all fuzzy or whatever. But it's like, what the hell's going on here? Anyway, okay, I've caught up. Do you guys hear that in the background? I'm afraid that I'm going to get hit with a copyright. Hold on a second. I'm going to mute myself. Hey, Cody. Yeah. Can you turn that back down a little bit? Yeah. I'm afraid I'll get nailed for copyright. Yep, but I muted myself. What the hell? Oh well. Whatever. I'm getting an ad. Who else is getting an ad? Stupid ads. Mine's skippable. Okay. Where were we? Peanut trucker is always number one. That's true. Russell says it's hotter than a pig's ass there. Yep. Here too. Here too. Well, right now it's about 24, but it was a high of 28 today. With the Humidex, it was higher, of course. Yeah. Okay. So Paul got an ad at 9:11. I just got one. It sort of staggers them. Hey there, homie, homie. How you doing? How's the weather down there? I'm just sort of scrolling past all the. Yeah, I did give the mic another swipe before the live stream. You're still learning how to spell charcuterie board? Char, like char. Cootery, like cootery. C-U-T C-U-T-E-R-I-E. I think there's a double letter in there. No, there isn't. Did I get it right? I had to type it. It's hard for me to spell verbally. Whoops. Whoopins. Hold on. I did a mistake and everything jumped and now I'm all pissy about it. There we go. Grace is here. How you doing, Grace? How's the weather? Are you sweating like the rest of us are? The rest of us already said hi. Hey there, Ian. How are you tonight? Are you enjoying temperate weather? Are you getting your ass rained on? Or are you sweating like a pig? That seems to be like the three possibilities tonight. I'm sweating myself. I'm sweating myself. I clicked the damn mute. Paul just opened the Pivot Rye. It's poured and sitting in the glass till 10. Does have a dry, dusty smell. Yeah. So I guess that's what I'll have tonight as well, because when I first opened it here on camera right after Destiny sent me a bottle, it was dry and dusty, and it had a real sort of tightness to it, but I could tell it was going to be good. And now that it's been open for several weeks, it's really opened. It's really opened up nicely. So maybe I will pour mine now and let it air until 10 as well. I'll have the rye with you, unless Scott, what are you having tonight? Because I figure I'll either have the rye or the black bourbon. You know what? I'll start with the rye. I mean, there's no work tomorrow. It's Canada Day. I'll have one of each. I have no idea what that was, but I'm hoping it wasn't something of mine. Let me try to mute myself again and find out. All right, all is well. Bam, da, bam, da, bam, da, bam, bam. All Ian heard was the crickets outside and a few bullfrogs. You live in a better place than I do. Couldn't hear anything. Okay, that's good, because I could really hear some music. She was listening to something, and I was afraid of. The thing is, YouTube will pick up a sound that's pretty far back in the mix and nail you for it. I've had that happen before. I believe I even got kicked off a live once because of it. That really pisses me off. I hate it when that happens. So Destiny asks, why does high humidity always make the heat feel so much hotter? Is the body sucking in extra water or something like that? I don't know exactly. Going from what I know about the purpose of sweating and such, I'm saying I don't know, because I don't know if the effect of a humid day is enough to make this happen. But you sweat as a means of regulating your temperature, right? You're stankin' hot, you sweat, a breeze blows across your wet skin and cools you down. I don't know if this is it, but to me it's possible that the humidity in the air would make the sweating less effective, because the difference between the humidity on your skin and the dryness in the air is not enough. Does that make sense? I'm saying, I'm sort of thinking this through as I'm speaking, and I'm not sure if it makes sense. You can ignore what I'm saying. Forget about it. It's because I'm not a scientist. I wanted to be. Didn't have the math, because, ADHD. Charcoal board. That sounds delicious. You got it. You got it. I knew it. If you just keep on trying, you'll get it. Very hot where homie is as well. Yeah, I do. I'm not. Yeah. Charcoal board is the quotable quote for the night. I back that. Better be otherwise. I'll be sending it back to Jess. That's fine. I'll take it. If you don't like it, I'll gladly take it. Yes, it is sweaty there. 94 degrees freedom, actual temp, 110 heat index. Yeah, that sucks. Don't like that. Yeah, I looked this time instead of just clicking and assuming that everything was great. So Ian is a little north of Russell's. So humid and a storm warning. I'm glad I got lots of battery, so I'm good running the cabin window AC. Lots of batteries, good. Are you running a similar system to what Russell has? I feel we've had this conversation, but I don't remember. And with the humidity, it's like you're sweating pure oil. Gross. Yuck. Charcoal board sounds like my ex is cooking. That's a QQ as well. Christy wants some rain. Yeah, I do like the rain. Here comes the rain again. Humidity is caused from the moisture in cornfields. What? Not around here, it wouldn't be. Corn sweat significantly increases local humidity, also known as evapotranspiration. It is the natural process where corn absorbs water from the soil and releases water vapor through pores. I mean, I could see that being true. It's just it wouldn't be the humidity in Montreal, but I could see that being true, like as a biological process for sure. Just checking my phone to make sure that nobody's sending me anything on the Discords or whatever, because farm kid, quote unquote. Fair enough. I do love the term corn sweat. It sounds like another term for for bourbon. Corn whiskey. Call it corn sweat. I'm trying to imagine the design of that bottle label. Corn sweat. Like that would be like a high corn. Well, all bourbon's pretty high corn, but like something that's not like a high rye and it's not like a wheater or anything like that. Upstairs I have a whiskey that's 100% corn. It's not an American, of course. It's local. It's one of the ones by oh geez, what's it called? I think it's like whiskey numero 3. Oh, who makes it? I can't remember, and it's not here. Yeah, like it's funny because I thought this was gonna be an opportunity for me to have like this real renaissance and everything, but I don't really have the time to do much, and I can't lift anything, so like I'm not becoming an amazing bass player or anything because I can't lift the basses. 5 pounds is a lot lighter than I thought. My light bass is 8.5, 8.3, something like that. In fact, I almost bought an acoustic bass yesterday just to have something lighter that I can pick up. But I did not. I did not do it. It was with the literary gaslighting. Whoops. Behind the phrase, it's 24 degrees, but it feels like 28. Well, that's with your Humidex, right? Like there are two ways to measure the temperature, right? It's 24 degrees actual. Okay. But with Humidex, or it feels like it's 28 degrees because Humidex always affects how it feels. Thank you, Paul. Circa, yes, it's a circa. Yeah. Country Boy says, I live in farm country and there's lots of cornfields around here. Our humidity is gross. I'd never even heard of corn sweat before. But now I feel the need to work that term into conversation as quickly as possible. Of course, I don't do a lot of conversation because I'm home alone. Well, like Clem is at day camp, but Cody's been, hanging with friends and hanging in the pool and stuff. Fire pouch? Yes. Okay. So I've caught up with the chat. So I'll show you guys my fire pouch. And then if we have time, we'll take a look at some of these pictures. I do want to point out that is a Tikka. It's a rifle made for them by Tikka. It's a specific model I believe you can buy one without the badges and stuff as a civilian, but they're like $4,000. Before that, the Rangers, right up until they switched to those Tikas less than 10 years ago, I think, they were still using the Lee Enfield, unsporterized, like straight up original Lee Enfields. Here's a picture of one of their encampments, I guess. But we'll look at that later. So this is my fire kit that I sort of always have set up, ready to go. The reason I have it out is because I used it to light the barbecue this week. Because I do. Hold on. Russell says, humid like a dog's tongue. Are you on vacay? That's why you're there? Country Boy says, maybe it's just because I like bourbon, but I'll blame the corn sweat on the farms. Steve, how are you doing? How you doing? Hello, Jess and friendlies. Grace Martin says, Destiny, I live in the Mojave Desert. 100 degrees freedom here feels better than 85 with 80% humidity here in Indiana. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the humidity really kills it. But I'm not sure what's actually in here because I just reach for the same things all the time. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I've got a ferro rod with a striker, a flint and steel, like a fire steel, probably a pocket bellows. You know what? Let's just reach in. Ooh, sorry. Oh, well, first off, some weatherproof matches just in case, right? These are waxed cotton balls, like the rolled, waxed, and then some thread. Like, so if you're having a hard time finding natural tinder, you just break one of these, fluff it up with your knife, and that'll light well. Ferro rod, my second favorite way of lighting a fire with a striker. Really often, I just use the back of a knife, though. Right? I feel that I don't need the striker, but it's got, I don't know if you can see that. Hold on. It's got centimeters on it, right? So I'm embarrassed about how often that has come in handy, and that's the side with the sharp edge for, you know. Wait, let me see if I can. What's in here? That's by what's it called? Bigfoot Bushcraft. The logo is no longer visible, but yeah, it doesn't show. I like the size. I like them quite large because it gives me more space to, you know. Okay, so in here I got some char cloth. Whoops. I love char cloth. I make my own generally, but this, I believe, came with the ferro rod. So I'm like, okay. Here's my Altoids tin. Is it empty or nope? Little homemade char cloth in there. Bipty 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 boo. Hold on a second. Grace, that makes sense. A dry heat seems more tolerable. It absolutely is. It really is. Oof. Christy will be hitting 113 freedom or 45 Canadian next week. Yikes. Yeah, hot in Arizona is a little different for sure. I mean, we were there in like November back when we were there. Christy, did you watch my series on when we were in Arizona. But yeah, it was even hot then. And I am not used to being hot in November. Ah, hey, Zach. Oh, hey, I miss building fire kits. So build one. I kind of do as well. I built one for my eldest daughter. My youngest one doesn't seem to be quite as into um, that aspect, but like if we went on a hike and started a fire, I don't know if that would still be true. Like she might want a little knife and a fire kit like I made for Cody. You can cook eggs on the sidewalk. Yuck. Russell says to Christy, every pool needs shade. This is important. When we go on vacay somewhere hot, I always pile stuff around the pool so I can enjoy pulling the shade. Yeah, our pool used to have a shade because we used to have two cedars growing next to it, but they're not there anymore. I'm unhappy. I do not love being under the sun. Oh, yes, you saw that. Okay. The hell did I ask you? My brain is so frustrating. I asked you something. Oh yes, you saw that series. Okay. Oh, I hate when my brain goes like that. So what else is in here? Oh, this is what came with the Bigfoot Bushcraft ferro rod. Except it's not what actually came in it. This is horsehoof fungus that I pounded the crap out of, and then I boiled it in in a solution of water with birch ash, so that when I'm using like flint and steel, it'll catch a spark nicely. I don't remember if I did a video of that. I hope I did. Oh, a sharpening card. This is a diamond grit sharpening card. This one is 45 micron, so that's a coarse one. I probably have two more in there. Coarse, a medium, and a fine. Yep. Medium will be green, right? Yes. No. So that was coarse is blue, which is 45 micron. These are by DNF. DMT. Yeah, DNF means did not finish. It's for books. Come on, fool. Okay, so there's the coarse one. 25 microns, which is fine. And then 9 micron, which is extra fine. That's to get your mirror polish. So it ain't the same as having a nice set of stones, he said, wanting to buy a nice set of stones. But that's really nice to have in the field. It's good enough quality that you're going to get a good edge for many, many uses. Oh, so this is, I don't know, is it called an anvil? A pivot? I can't get the damn bag open. Hold on now. Come on. Where's my damn flint and steel? Right? Put a stick in it. If you're using it like for a bow drill or something, you can just stick, hold it down. I've never succeeded to make a bow drill fire or a hand drill fire. I mean, a random piece of birch bark, 2 pieces of fat wood, pocket bellows, but no flint and steel. Must be in my other kit. That's weird. I wanted to show you guys my flint and steel, but it ain't in this kit. I have another kit back there. Destiny says, "Never thought I'd live long enough to experience quiet mosquitoes, but here they are, stealth mosquitoes. Killed them with fire." Yes, the fire kit goes camping with me. Although, look, I'm not stepping off screen, but I need to find my fire steel and flint because I don't have, like, I never keep a fire kit that doesn't have that in it, because that's my preferred way to start a fire, bar none, for sure. As a southpaw, I can't stand for rod strikers that are only sharp on one side. That's an excellent point, and this one is only sharp on one side. So if I was to try to strike this with my left hand, what the hell would I use? This, maybe? No? Like turn the sharp side around? Yeah, but that's all awkward, right? Like, this is what you're talking about, right? Like, that's awkward. But can I get it to work? No, because I'm going to burn my fingers. Yeah, so you're using the back of a knife, I'm imagining. Like, I usually do too. I almost never use... With this one, I use it because they thought to give me enough space that I can actually get a little bit of movement. Very often, that little string is just too close, and you're like, me. How come it's not working? But yeah, even with that, like, I will usually use the back of a bushcraft knife that has a 90-degree spine on it. Like, not using that, right? That's, first of all, it's coated, right? So, you know, and it's not a 90-degree spine. Little Leatherman, maybe? Nope. There's no way. It's not a sharpened spine. But yeah, I can see. I didn't know you were a southpaw, but yeah, I could see that being a problem. Yeah, I had never thought of that because I'm not. Unless, so this is the sharpened edge. Unless you come at kind of like, put the sharpened edge across it like this, right? Because it's easy this way, right? You just angle this a little bit and there you go. But if using your left, because this sharpened has a little bit of a hook out on it, right? So if you maybe sort of held it like this, meh. You're right. They should do two-sided. Southpaws of the world, unite. Dyslexic southpaws of the world, untie. I don't know why I said that. Are we sure about this, Country Boy? Are we sure that my brain is working tonight? Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a bearing block, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, Disney got an ad. When? 4 minutes ago. Country girl always smells. City girl always smells great. It's one of her magical qualities. But she put incense in her clothing drawer here, and now when she comes here, she smells spicy great. That's cheating somehow. That's good. She's good, man. I put like little cedar balls in. Like, they're supposed to be mothballs, but my clothes are not wool, so I'm not worried about that. I'm just trying to get that foresty smell. Oh no, it just jumped back to 9:18. Ian saying all I hear is crickets. Let me scroll. Fudge. Yeah, I do wish I could go and get my other fire kit, but I don't want to step off screen. Zach says, I use the spine of a Swiss Army knife saw. They don't lock, so I strike with the section closest to the pivot to prevent injury. Fair. Yeah, because that's a nice sharpened spine, eh? I do love the smell of sawdust. That's all I'm going to say about that conversation. And pine. I love the smell of pine as well. Where's my damn fire steel? Anyway, okay. So yeah, I carried these. They've come in handy. Once I was chopping some wood and I missed and dinged a little chunk out of my grand's first. Fortunately, just a tiny chunk. Um, you don't have as much space on these little guys as you do with like a full sharpening stone, but with an afternoon of work of elbow grease, I got it. I got it fixed up. I do love the smell of cedar. Absolutely. Do you guys keep sharpening stuff in your camping kits? I'm not sure why this is in my fire kit, though. This is not my main fire kit. I'm just realizing that the other one is my main fire kit. So if this is the ferro rod in my backup fire kit, what the hell's the fire rod in my main kit look like? Peanut trucker smells like diesel. Oh, I got an ad. It's skippable at least. I only show one thumbs up, but we know why, because YouTube no longer automatically updates that. So can someone tell me how many of you 15 who are with me right now have hit the thumbs? Zach says, my grandparents used to take the scent sample pages out of magazines and put them in drawers. That's pretty smart too. Yeah. Christy says, go get the other fire kit. We will wait. I wonder if I can pick it up. Let me see if I can pick it up. I don't know where it is. Made this ferro rod. My buddy Robin, he brought over his lathe. There's another cool little one. This is a bunch of like tinder that I bring just in case I can't find enough natural tinder where I am, or at least stuff that's, you know, dry. So, you know, I've got like birch bark and cedar shavings and all that crap in there. Where's my freaking fire steel? This is the kit I put together for Camille when she was younger. I made the bag. I made this toggle out of wood, you know, leather thong, because I'm just a great dad. I made this ferro rod out of a razor handle, and I had bought like an actual ferro rod. In here are some more of those waxy things that you break open, fluff up with your knife, and they take a spark. Matches just in case. Jute. See, this is why I don't know where mine is, because mine's got jute cord in it as well. Tiny little, I think these are mints. It's a mint tin with some char cloth in it. Altoids tin with a flint in it. Steel made from an old file. Where's my flint and steel? Right? You sort of... Oh, that's not showing up on camera, is it? It's not showing up on camera, is it? I mean, small, much smaller sparks than with a ferro rod. Ooh. No, there's a flint. I mean, it probably still won't show up, but right? Moving right along. And there's another flint. And a tiny piece of birch bark. Camille never got the hang of flint and steel. I'm going to try it with her again, maybe this year. She took to the fire, to the ferro rod quite well, but the flint and steel she never connected with in the same way. Here I have a knots kit. It's two ropes to use, and a little booklet of, you know, how to for knots. Hold on. UC11? Okay, that's good to know. No, there's no time for me to get the cheese. Who's muted? I'm not muted. He might. He texted David to see if he's awake. Okay, good on you. Mark says to Christy, your temperatures have wandered over to Kentucky. Please come get them. There's Beto. Hey, how hot is it down there? Because up here it's quite hot. And in the States, it's also very hot, it seems. Destiny will be right back. She's probably going to refill the charcuterie board. Zach said, had a power outage last night that ruined my 11 o'clock supper. Lasted 4 hours because lightning struck the only combined station in the west coast of Newfoundland. Last week, we had hell of a storm, knocked out the power, and as soon as the power went out, practically a crap ton of fire trucks went whooping on by. So whatever knocked out the power probably also set something relatively large on fire. Oops. Everyone's saying hi. Everyone's saying hi. Skipping on past. Skipping on by. Peanut Trucker Mrs. Winter. Fair enough. Now I want cheese. Thank you very much. Russell says, I always avoid the green pumps at the gas station as there always seems to be a recent spill. I do not even know what that means. What the hell are green pumps? I do not know what that means. This is my original fire steel, the one I got when I first started this channel. This is not the original. That might be the original flint. Moving right along. It was in this package that this pack that I randomly grabbed. Oh, I know what this is. This is a Fresnel lens for on a very hot sunny day. Yeah, I can't get it out, but yeah. I don't think I've ever successfully started a fire using the sun, but maybe I'll try that this summer. Green is diesel. Okay. Yeah, no more fire starting. No, we're not. We're moving right along. Russell, Mark got an ad. Peanut Trucker says it's almost $2 more a gallon now because they keep putting more taxes on diesel. 10 o'clock. Those who have a whiskey, Sláinte. Those who don't, I respect that as well. Rye is a much livelier deal than a bourbon is. It's still got some of the sweetness, but whereas bourbon is all about sort of a sweet, slightly woody corn, maybe a little barley, and sometimes a touch of the green grass of a rye. A rye, especially 100% rye like this one, the sweetness is not coming from the juice. It's coming from, if it was aged in like American oak. I mean, there's a little sweetness in rye to start with, but not much. It's a very herbaceous. Wouldn't go quite as far as to say farmy, but flavors of the field in a lot of ways, you know. I heard in some places they want to put an extra tax on electric cars since they're not buying gas. Don't want to come across as political, but considering the people in power, that does not surprise me. Oh my God, I keep sort of, there we go. That would get me out to vote against for sure. I live in a province where the government makes money off of us for hydro, so there's no need, right? Because the Hydro Quebec is a crown corporation. Mark says, unto Chris, Cook City, Montana had a foot of snow this morning. You could go there for more winter. Wow. Is it high elevation? Yes, California is coming up with other tax to cover the gas tax they're missing. I'll look into that. It seems like the kind of thing that would happen. And, well, yeah, if you're not making money off of the oil. Ian says, cheers. Are you drinking something? Cheers? Yeah, Paul says it's nice. It still needs to open up. Yeah, once it opens up, it's going to be much nicer. Love running Montana, but never get to go until winter. Zach says that would be in California. Yeah, I guess if they have a shortfall because people are not buying enough gas cars, then I mean, I don't love the idea of coming up with a tax to make up for other tax deductions, right? For other tax income reductions. Seems that entering corporate welfare would get you more tax anyway. Russell says, I drove through Montana once and was treated to the coolest cloud-to-cloud lightning show ever. Started on one horizon, raced across the other. Thousands of tendrils going every which way. I would have liked to have seen that. I would have loved to have seen that. What's in here again? Oh, yeah. I got my whole fire kit spread out in front of me now and makes me want to hit the woods. But where's my other flint and steel? Like, once I got one from, I think it was it Bigfoot Bushcraft? I don't know. I got one from somewhere that sort of put this one into retirement, which is why it was in this pack instead of my. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm going to have to prioritize finding that soon, for sure. You did a dash cam. Absolutely. Yeah. Mark says onto Russell, Great Plains storms are on another level. It sounds like they're having a fight upstairs. Zach, the Convoy SG. I think that's a deep cut. That tells me you've been watching for a while. But I don't know if I kept that one or if I did a giveaway of that one. That one was pretty cool, though. I mean, it worked well. What do I have? Like, do I still have that one? I feel that I probably still have a fire kit sitting in one of the bags I take when I go to the woods. And that's why I'm wondering where certain things are. No, I'm not going to go digging that out, though. No, there's no way. I believe that Convoy SG Steel one was pretty cool, actually. I liked it. It worked well. I don't know if they're still around though. Like it seemed like I'm wondering if. Sorry, I almost killed my YouTube for a second there. Convoy SG. No, they're still there. I think they're based in the UK. Hand-forged carbon steel and British flint fire kits. Let's see how much they cost. Want me to share the screen so that we can check it out ensemble? You know, something that, oh, the Singleton. Nice. Okay. That's great. Yes. God, stop showing me this morning. Yes, I understand. Let's proceed. Allow, for God's sakes. So here they are. So they're still around. Right. That's the fire kit that I have. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this came with that. Okay. Shop the Heritage Collection. Shall we take a look? Click. The Heritage Collection, UK and USA. What? Okay. 3 kinds of leather. Heritage Coyote Brown leather kit. So that's their fire steel, the flint, char cloth, the jute bag, and the leather case. Same thing with an obsidian black leather or cognac leather. Like that's a dark brown. I like the coyote. I like my leather to not be too dark. So that's their heritage collection. That's it. Okay. What else do they have? 1850. So English flint stones and tinder jute bag for the carbon steel striker. Okay, so this is just some English flint and the jute bag. So the idea behind the jute bag is that in a pinch you can use it as tinder, right? Or you can, I guess, turn it into char cloth if you don't need to. I'd like some nice English flint. Back. Okay, so there's the striker kit without the leather and the little char cloth kit tin. This is a ferro rod with a multi-tool striker and tinder waxed hemp rope. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. I like that. Those fire starting ropes are really cool because what you do is you push the rope through. Do you guys see the cursor? Oh yeah, yeah. He's got a picture. Okay, so what you do is you push the rope through, and you light it, and you use it to light a fire, and then you pull the rope back, and it extinguishes it. Yeah, I like the rope. Like the rope. Very nice. And then this tinder kit, dual char cloth metal tins and stamped jute bag. UK only for this? Okay. Sure. Okay. Whatevs. Anything else? Tinder kit, dual char cloth, aluminium tins and stamped jute bag. Oh, they've got a little bushcraft stove now. I've got enough. I've got 2 of these. Not a Convoy SG, but I've got 2 tiny stoves like this, so I don't need to go buying anymore. Actually, this stove's a nicer size than mine. Whatevs. I'm not buying anything. Okay. So this is just the striker, $20 US. Is that expensive? I haven't bought a sorry. I haven't bought a kit in so long. I don't know if $20 is expensive for a striker or not. So this is what I have. Right? One piece of flint. This thing, that thing, and that thing. $50 US. I'm trying to stop sharing. There we go. Oh, Paul got an ad. Chrissy's got to log off and do something for work. Hopefully he can log back in. All right. See you later, Chrissy. I probably missed you. Zach says there was a company in Russia making beautiful flint and steel kits. Since the war, I haven't heard a peep out of them. Well, you probably wouldn't because with sanctions and everything, you probably can't buy anything from them. What were they called? Russell says, so I found out this cool bit of info. Getty Lee of Rush. His name was Jerry. Jerry, but his mom had a strong Yiddish accent, really rolled her R's, sounded like Getty. One of his friends picked up on it, kept calling him Getty. Soon all his friends were saying it, so he eventually officially changed his name. I heard that as well. I think he was telling it to Rick Beato or someone. They've been out rocking again. Yes, they have. Yeah, it's a nice setup, Destiny. It's a nice it's a nice kit. Works well. I just don't know if if $50 is expensive these days or not, right? Like 10 years ago, $50, no way. But I don't know what the prices of these things are now. I've gone through a change in tastes relatively lately in that I no longer make an old fashioned out of rye because I came to the realization or to the philosophy or whatever that the rye plus the bitters was just too much. It was just too angry in the mouth. So now I exclusively make them out of something on the bourbony side. No regrets. I could really go for cheese. Zach. Can't remember. It was a very straightforward name, like Flint and Steel or something. My Kuksa is from Russia. What the hell was his name? He's in Siberia. It was a wooden Kuksa. Beautiful. It was very affordable at the time. The thing is, like, I don't know if these guys are still alive, right? Like, they were scraping the streets to send guys into the meat grinder in the Ukraine, right? So, like, I don't know if these guys are there anymore. What was his name? Siberia. Heart of Siberia. I don't remember. I don't remember what the name was. If I look him up on Instagram, because I found him on Instagram, I believe. Soul of Siberia. There it is. Blogger cooks a carving. Soul of Siberia. Excuse me. Oh my God, my sinuses just will not leave me alone. Soul of Siberia. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that's the guy. So let's see when his last posting was. But not posting. Post was 2 September 2025. September 2nd, 2025. Russell says, I think I saw some of those in interviews. They had their instruments and would play random stuff. It's amazing to watch them just crank out such memorable stuff. Yeah, so that's got to be a Rick Beato interview. One of my favorite Rick Beato interviews was with Sting, because Sting is infamous for not loving the interview process. But because Rick Beato talks about music rather than, like when freaking TMZ or someone does an interview, it's like bubble-headed garbage. But Rick Beato, he's a music producer as well as a YouTuber, right? Like, so he'll ask Sting about, why'd you pick that chord? Or it's nice that you went for a diminished there instead of, and Sting is very musically curious, right? And so it was a great interview because Sting was engaged, and he had his guitarist with him, and they played a couple of things, and I'm glad I saw it. I'd like to watch it again someday soon, actually. But Rick Beato has the power to open these guys up because he comes at them as a musician, so they're talking shop rather than as some pop. I was going to say Pop Tart, but as some like pop culture wonk. He talks to them in their language. Siberian bushcraft. Is that another guy? Siberian, or is that who you were talking about? Jeez, I hope this guy's alive. He's got a YouTube channel. Yeah, his YouTube channel. Okay. He has a video from 2 weeks ago on his YouTube channel. Right, that top one is from 2 weeks ago. All right, fair enough. Cooks a carving, free shipping worldwide, outdoors lifestyle. Shop, solosiberia.ru. I don't... Oh, I think he has moved. Because in more info, it says United Kingdom. Now that is interesting. I mean, and not a bad thing. I mean, who the hell wants to live in Putin's Russia right now? That's a terrible thing to say, and it's very political. I'm deeply sorry. Won't say it again. No. Solo Siberia. Yep. Thank you, mister. Since living on the coast, my sinuses have gotten clearer. That sounds amazing. Sorry, I'm just I'm enjoying the flavor of the whiskey. So kind of like this fire kit just all over my desk. obviously there's no work tomorrow for those who even aren't on sick leave. There should be a concert downtown tomorrow. Unlike the Saint Jean Baptiste parade, the Canada Day parade is during the day. Raspberry Rock says, I heard that there are 400 billion stars in our galaxy and 2 trillion galaxies, and in all that, there are no intelligent species that like the Boreal. That's because the Earth is unique. You haven't really looked at YouTube bushcraft stuff lately. I haven't either, Zach. It's just it preys on my mind because I'm just not getting into the woods. So I've been ignoring YouTube bushcrafters. I've been ignoring Instagram bushcrafters for the most part. Like I'm not engaging with that at all because I don't get enjoyment from it because it just keeps reminding me that I am trapped. You know? I think there are some YouTube bushcrafters who I used to watch religiously, but I just cannot do it right now. Cannot do it. I do have I bought this specifically to do a video on. I have no idea what's in it. I'm going to open it on camera. Well, I mean, it says what's in it. But I'm going to do a video, not like a full-on review, but like it's got a list of everything in it, but I've been kind of like not looking at it because I want to know for whatever this cost. Oh no, I got rid of the bill. I'll look it up on the Canadian Tire website. For what this cost, if you already have a first aid kit, how much stuff does this come with that you wouldn't have in the first aid kit? So I want to shoot that fairly soon, but I don't want to shoot it in my backyard. I want to go to the woods to shoot it. So, I just looked at the list. I didn't look long enough to register anything. But anyways, tick removal kit. I want to do an episode on that. I think I'm looking forward to opening it up and seeing what's in there. At the beginning of this, Russell, I thought you were going to get into something that really, really, really interested me because I do love the outer spaces. You know, the stuffs in the outer spaces. Oh, jeez, I could really go for some cheese. Not going to do it. Zach, what are you watching these days? I'm watching mostly either political commentary or, what's his name, Tyler Bucket, or bass playing stuff. Although right now, even that's making me feel bad about myself because I can't pick up a bass because of my recent surgery. I was about to look up something to share with you guys, but I don't remember what. Oh, that really bugs me. I hate it. My brain just lets me down. It just lets me down like all the time, you know? Whatever. I'm not going to waste my time on it. The outer spaces. It's absolutely crazy when you think about what's out there and how insignificant we are. Yes. Oh, Margaret's out. Hold on. Good night, mister. 4 a.m. is earlier than it used to be. Have a great week. You too, mister. Sleep well for as long as you can, because yikes. I need a cheese chute for basement delivery. Yeah, that would be... Yeah. Zach says, if Canada Day was on a Saturday, we would have a Memorial Day on that Monday to commemorate the Battle of Beaumont Hill. Now, the Royal Newfoundland Regiment on July 1st of something in World War I had a battle that was fundamental to Newfoundland military history. I haven't seen Marcus. I don't know where he is. I hope he's okay. Everyone say goodnight. Wet shaving, Warhammer, and streamers. I need to get my razor resharpened. So here's the thing. I'll sharpen my kitchen knives. I'll sharpen my bushcraft knives. I'll sharpen my axes. But there's no way I'm trying to sharpen my own freaking razor. And I need my both my razors to be sharpened up. Right now, I'm using. When I first started, I had a, what the hell's it called? I don't remember what it's called, but what you do is you snap like a safety razor blade in half and you put it in, right? So you get the straight razor shave, but with a replaceable razor blade. It's not the same as a real straight, let me tell you. There's a magic to this, to the old fashioned straight that just doesn't exist in these, especially because I don't think you can see it now, but the corner of those little snap-in razor blades, you can really catch yourself bad. Russell used a straight razor for years, sharpened yourself, but it was never as good as it should have been. I strop mine myself, but I'm just too afraid to try to sharpen it. You know what I should do? I should get a cheapo one, like as a tutorial, and use that, right? Because the theory is, I know people who can sharpen their own, right? They say take some of that green painter's tape, put it around the spine, and that'll get you to the right angle, and then you just go. But I'd be afraid of ending up with a smiley face razor blade, Russell says they're actually easy to sharpen. Put some tape on the back, then you don't have to worry about the angle. See, it's common wisdom. I just don't have the. Oh, I get it. Okay, that was the battle commemorated. The memorial was moved after Confederation to not sour the nation's birthday. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Russell. We were going in the exact same spot. I would love to be able to sit down here and not have my sinuses go crazy and my nose dripping and everything. I should give it a try. Because, I mean, once I can sharpen my own straight razors, great, right? I mean, it makes a big difference. It really does. I'm not going to look up straight razor shaping right now. Shaping? What? Sharpening. Because what I'll probably do is watch a couple of YouTubes and try it with one of my razors. The thing is, I only have two, so no, I only have two. Because you need two, right? Because you're using one and then you use the other while you get the other one sort of back into shape. I'm not saying this properly, but you know what I'm saying. It's good to have two straight razors. You don't need to have one per day. Some people go crazy. Some are like collectors. I'm collector averse. Two. Oh, my land, it's 10:30. Check out App Shave Co. for Canadian-made custom shave brushes. Okay. I still use. Oops. I still use my granddad's old Badger bristle shave brush. I used to have a boar one as well that I bought, but I have no idea where it went. App Shave Co. Synthetic shaving brushes and shaving brush knobs. I think they meant knots. Brushes, view all. I'm not going to do this right now. So I did want to sort of briefly, when I saw this picture, I thought it was apropos, right? So this guy's a master corporal in the Canadian Rangers. The reason they use these Tikas and the reason they use the Lee Enfield for so long is because they need something that will work at some freakishly low temperatures. And like the semi-autos can, on occasion, kind of seize up if it's like minus 40 degrees Celsius. Apparently, like the oil or whatever. I don't remember what the actual specifics are. But I looked into these guys at some point because I would have liked to have joined. What they are sort of human early warning for our military. On when you see Rangers, you think mostly the Arctic, right? But they're on sort of the coasts, sparsely populated areas, which sounds amazing, right? But most of the pictures are of, you know, ski-doos and stuff like that. A lot of them are Inuit, but not all, right? It's not like an Inuit armed forces or anything. And those bolt guns are also useful for, sometimes they have to shoot a grizzly, not a grizzly, a polar bear or something. I don't do gun content on this channel, but when they announced that they were switching from the Lee Enfields to those Tikas, I did look into the whole stats of the Tikas. And they can also take food with them if they really need to, without, like, the 5.56 is not what I would use against a polar bear, Peanut Trucker's out. I'm out. Got to start early all the way down to Miami and get home by Thursday night. Safe week, everyone. Good night. Safe week to you too, mister. Thanks for hanging out with us and being a strong, capable mod. Zach said that your career military great uncle tried to get you to join the three. I've been doing this all day. I'm not having a good day, people. The brain is not braining today. Your career military great uncle tried to get you to join the Rangers 3 years ago. I'm guessing he was not successful. But where you live sounds like Ranger territory for sure. For sure, absolutely. Like, you're not going to throw the Canadian Rangers into like trench warfare, right? They're scouts essentially. I mean, I'm simplifying, but they're scouts essentially. They're your advanced eyes and ears, which in the North is very useful because for ages they were kind of all we had. Well, no, that's not fair, but our military presence watching the North was not mature, and so they were very important, and they're still important. Okay, Russell says, thunderstorm coming my way. Quick, best camping equipment for a thunderstorm. I will say that oh God, that's tough to say because I was gonna say yes, 60% chance of rain at 11 o'clock. Interesting. You're not kidding. Oh yeah, and then at 4, whoa. Okay. Oh, leave me alone, child. Hold on, people. Camille wants me to extend her frickin' let's send this out to everyone, because here's the thing. In a thunderstorm, you don't want to be too close to a tree, right? Like, I would say that you want a hammock rather than a tent, because that way, if the ground gets completely sodden, your tent is not. But you don't want to be too close to trees in a thunderstorm, or at least. And what if it gets really windy and knocks branches down, and you get killed by falling branches? So I don't know. Let's think about it, right? What do you want to sleep in during a thunderstorm? Like, is it better to be in like a little dome tent, like a little pup tent or something, like on the beach, relatively close to trees, so that if lightning does strike the tallest thing around, it's a tree? During World War II, they were given crates of. It was probably um, 303, and told to keep an eye out for Japanese parachutes. That is true. Okay, Russell says bonus. If there's no strong wind, say the rain is coming straight down and it's the middle of the day. So what gear do you want that you can actually enjoy it? Okay. All right. So we're not talking about sleeping in a stormy night. So I want rain gear that is breathable. Yeah, and I know that not all. If you're in the middle of a thunderstorm, you want waterproof rather than water resistant, and sometimes getting waterproof and breathable can be a real chore. But I feel that like a lot of the absolute waterproof ponchos and stuff that we tend to find online or in at like mountain equipment, whatever it's called now, they don't breathe, so you end up sweating, so you end up wet anyway, right? I would like. I'm a person who loves a summer rainfall, and even loves a summer storm if it breaks like a heat wave or something. But I don't like sitting under a rubber tarp, essentially, or like an oilskin tarp or whatever. So I would want something that is breathable and yet waterproof. Scott, am I switching to the black bourbon? Yeah, yes, I am, of course. In honor of Scott, I had the rye. Boots, like not just sort of, yeah, like Billy boots, right? Wellington boots, rubber boots. I grew up calling them Billy boots because, Wellington boots. Because the thing is, in the thunderstorm, what am I doing? I'm not fishing. Well, I wouldn't be fishing either, but like I'm not paddling, right? I might be hunkered down, so I don't need footwear that breathes really well and gives me great grip if I'm just hunkered down in the rain. Like, I want to have a tarp above me, but I don't want to be surrounded by trees. Destiny loves those summer thunderstorms with the ozone smell. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, I did. Black bourbon. Here you go. Cheers. Paul's gonna have the black bourbon as well. Nice. Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense, Zach, for sure. Yeah, because Leanne fields were still being sent to Europe. Yeah. Did I store fireworks so it doesn't get wet? where do I store it? So I would. Okay, so let's pretend that I'm out camping and I knew that the storm was coming. Yes, I did store the firewood. What I did was I put it under like a tarp, and I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping that the rain doesn't, like, I would try to put it to put the wood. Here's what I would do. If I have an extra 10 by 10 tarp, which doesn't even have to be 10 by 10. If I have an extra tarp and I know the storm is coming, I'm laying the tarp on the ground, hopefully on a bit of an incline, right? So that it's not in what might turn into a lake if there's a lot of rain. It's partway up a little bit up an incline, nothing crazy. I lay the tarp down. I transfer all my wood over to it, no matter how much I got, no matter how big the logs. Because I've probably, it is my style to, if I pull big logs over to my campsite, to process them right away, saw them into more manageable lengths, chop them in half, whatever, right? So I've already done all that. So I lay them all on the tarp before the storm starts, obviously. And then I wrap that, okay? So that I haven't just sort of pegged a tarp down and hope that water doesn't get under it. No, I've wrapped them so that if the water gets ground, makes no sense. If the ground gets wet, it's not the booze. I've been doing this all day. It drives me crazy. It's not going to soak my wood, okay? This kind of thing is best if you have one of those blue plastic tarps from Canadian Tire or something. Okay, so I've protected my wood. Because I want to get a fire started, okay? If I'm at a beach or something, or like, or there's a clearing, what I might want to do is, because we said there's no like windstorm, right? I'm just going to scroll back. No strong wind. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. My main tarp, middle of the day, so whatever. Who cares about the tent? It's not here. It's back there. I set my tarp up sort of as a little lean-to, right? Coming up from the ground onto two sticks. I got two, not saplings because they bend too much, but like two long sticks. Okay, and I've got my tarp up, stuck into those two long sticks, and then bolted to the ground with pegs. Just in front of that, I've got my fire going, okay? I'd like to start the fire before the thunderstorm really hits so that there's a chance that it's not going to get completely drowned, because I don't want to put the fire right under my tarp, because it's like a sil nylon tarp most likely, rather than like a wax canvas thing. Though the romantic in me would love the wax canvas. Let's face it, I'm too old to carry that shite. So I've got my fire going, like going pretty hard, so that unless there's an absolute deluge, the fire probably won't go out. Am I sure this is going to work? No, but let's be optimistic here. I just like, I don't know how hard this storm is, because like a fire that's really roaring can withstand a certain amount of rain, even a mild storm. But if it's an absolute torrent, maybe not. Maybe then I wish I brought my canvas tarp instead of a sil nylon, so that I could put the fire under it and just not worry about it. What's your thunderstorm meal? Oh, I would love a soup, a good thick soup, like leek and potato, split pea, something like that. A chowder, not like a clam chowder, because but like maybe a shrimp chowder or something. Do they make chowders that aren't seafood? But that like a thick stick to your bone, stick to your ribs kind of soup that would, and like a chunk of a crusty loaf, like a French bread. No, Italian. Something with seeds on it, like a real sort of a whole grain seed, like a loaf with all the seeds and stuff on it. Imagine you're undercover, sitting comfortable, enjoying the sounds, the occasional flicker of like, yep, it's good. Oh, I'd love a soup. A soup. I mean, a steak would be fine as well, but like a steak isn't comfort food. A soup is comfort food. But like not, I mean, oh, I'm sick. Okay, you're having chicken noodle. But like if I'm in the woods watching a thunderstorm, maybe I'm sheltered under an overhanging rock or something, in which case I can have a fire going without worried about sparks poking through my sil nylon tarp, right? Yeah, I'm guilty as charged because it's happening in my head. I told you guys my entire life I've had my mind polluted by art school, so I'm very visual, but I'm also very like senses oriented. So like in my mind, I'm smelling the ozone of a summer storm, right? And now if I'm under a rock, not if I'm under a rock, but like I'm under a rocky overhang, so I'm not worried about the fire being put out. I'm just kicking back and enjoying the show, and a nice soup with some like a little bit of cheese and a nice crust of bread. Cup of tea, because a storm is not beer time. It's not whiskey time. A storm is like a coffee, a hot chocolate, tea kind of thing. I wish I was there. Wish I was there. Country Boy says, if I'm camping and when I know it could be inclement weather, I always have a container of homemade ham and split pea soup to warm the body and soul simultaneously. Man, Mr. Genius. Absolutely. What about you, Russell? What do you cook on a like if you were not at home in your I don't know, do you ever just like can you cook on your balcony? No, I don't think so. But if a storm hits, do you sit out on your balcony and watch it, or do you sort of hunker down inside? Russell, what's your favorite thing to cook over a fire? Is there anything you like to cook right on the coals? How about corn? I have never tried corn. My favorite thing to cook over a fire is always going to be like steak or bacon. There's some chicken stuff I can do really well as well, but I like the aesthetic of so what I used to do, but no longer do now that I've got some like metal racks and stuff. It would be like 2 sticks with like Y's here and then one across and then just drape. Well, I always remove the bark and the inner bark, right? Get down to the wood because you don't know what kind of bacteria is on the outer layer of a tree, standing dead wood or otherwise, right? So I'd take off the bark and then I would just drape bacon over it and cook it and like check it every now and again because I mean it would cook faster down at the bottom than at the top. So what I'm looking for is it's cooked all the way up, but the bottom hasn't like burnt yet. Magical. Now that I've got like little metal racks, I just drape it on those. I don't have to worry about finding branches. But yeah, steak virtually always on a pan in the coals. I did a steak straight on the coals once, I believe, and I was surprised at how it didn't get full of like ash. Like if you go early enough, right? You want to be cooking on coals, like just after the flames part, not when the wood is starting to turn into ash, right? But even then, look, it turns into, the steak gets a crust on it, and you're in the woods. So is it really that bad to have a little bit of ash on your food? Well, it's part of the aesthetic. It's part of the joy of being in the woods and cooking with natural materials rather than the controlled environment of a kitchen, right? I mean, this is why we cook. This is why we barbecue with charcoal, like wood chunk charcoal, not those stupid briquettes. Um, because fire is magical when it comes to enjoyment of watching the flames, but also the flavor that can only come from cooking over burning wood. What's your favorite thing to cook over a fire, Russell? Oh, and I do like to make porridge in my little Morris pot. I usually use like instant. I just find it easier to deal with, like as a little packet and everything. But for my breakfast, I'll do um, like a porridge. Those little Quaker Oats things, maple. Because I'm not as worried about my salt intake and my sugar intake and all that when I'm out in the woods because I'm using everything up, right? Because I'm moving. I have no idea what the madame is doing up there. Country Boy says, when the weather gets violet, I think that's violent, I head outside to enjoy it. The last place I want to be is inside. Pissed off Mother Nature is amazing to see. I agree. I like to, even if I'm just sort of opening the front door and sitting there on the, at the porch or standing there and watching. Clem likes to watch it. Um, Camille's first experience, excuse me, Camille's first experience of a thunderstorm came after her first experience with fireworks. So she thought it was fireworks, and she was like, "Let's go and watch, Daddy." And so we threw up the front door, and she was calling them boom booms, and she did for a really long time. And I remember one night in Penticton. No, it wasn't the night. It was day, and we were in Penticton for something. I think it was my dad's like 60th birthday or so, 70th, 60th. I don't remember, but that sounds about right. Camille was like 4. 60th, 70th. We were in Penticton. My stepsister Jacqueline was there with her daughter, and whatever. We were all staying at that place, and it was this crazy thunderstorm coming out, shaking the outside, and Jack's poor daughter was losing it inside. She was crawling under her mother and just sobbing. And Camille was like, "Let's go watch the boom booms, Daddy." So we stood outside under the overhang, rain pouring down, huge crashes of thunder, huge flashes of lightning, and Camille was just like, "Woo!" Good times. Yeah, I think she was like 4. Oh, yeah, I'm with you. I watched a guy cook a cob of corn on the fire, wrapped in foil. I would try that. I would absolutely try that. Like he didn't have to add oil or anything into the foil. He just wrapped it in foil, threw it on the fire. And like, did he do it over flames or did he throw it into embers? And like, for how long? I used to work at a very high end organic grocery store, and we had a specialist, a produce specialist, come from California because, of course, it was California, to give us like a little seminar and everything. And the one thing I remember 2 things. It's like, go big dollar, right? Instead of like $6.99, charge $7. But what I most remember is that he said, "How long does corn need to cook before you can eat it?" And everyone was like, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. I said, "You don't have to cook corn to eat it. You can eat it raw." And he made us eat an entire ear of corn or a cob, whatever, each raw. And he's right. You can eat your damn corn raw, and it's still perfectly fine, still perfectly nutritious, still delicious. I do prefer it cooked briefly. Well, yeah, I would wrap a thing of corn in. What I like about if you do corn on, like if you cook corn, like you take the kernels and you cook it up in a pan or something where it gets just a little brown, a whole different flavor, whole new flavor in like world that I really, really like. So I would absolutely try that. Oh, a stew, yeah. Like a beef stew with potatoes and carrots in it. Yeah, that's a better idea for sure. Yep. I made a stew last year. I'd like to make another one. I love making that kind of stuff. I made a jambalaya during COVID because they sent us all home, like to work from home in my department. They said, okay, everyone make a video of something you like to do. No, not the department didn't say this. They said they assigned everyone to come up with something that the entire group could do. And one of my buddies, who is all about the food, said, create a presentation, be it video or pictures or whatever, about a food and a drink inspired or whatever that have the same first letter as your initials. So for the drink, I did a Corpse Reviver number blue for Corbet, and for the food, I did a jambalaya because of Jesse. And my first time making jambalaya, I tell you now, and I tell you twice, I would make that again in an instant. Little spicy for the family. I loved it. The recipe made a lot though, so I've been kind of shy about making it again. But I would really love to. Oh yeah, and I'd like to make a stew. A stew is kind of a cold weather meal for me too, like thunderstorm or like a snowstorm or something. It's the kind of thing you finish off with like a dessert of, or like a porto. You know, if you're gonna have a little um, digestif, or like maybe a very sweet whiskey or something. Cup of coffee, tea, or hot chocolate, to go with the weather. Russell says, when City Girl and I go to a winter lunch spot, we toast sandwiches over the fire and heat up a can of soup in the fire. Yeah, man. I love it. That sounds perfect. Boom booms. Yeah. She called them boom booms. And it took her a long time, 4 years old, to realize that a thunderstorm was not fireworks. Thunder makes me sleep good. Yeah, I love the sound of rain and maybe thunder when I'm sleeping, because I'm afraid that thunder might jolt Clem out of bed. Although she's pretty good about a thunderstorm. We've stood at the open door and watched a thunderstorm before, so. But yeah, I love the sound of rain while I'm going to bed. Country Boy says Penticton thunderstorms are epic. They really are, because they're in a valley, right? Between two lakes. So there's a lot of water, a lot of moisture, even though it's in a pocket desert. So it's actually really, really arid, semi-arid. But if there's a thunderstorm going on, whew, because the air movement, because it's in this little valley, It's a bowl valley, right? So, by the way, flying into Penticton Airport is awful. If you have the time, fly to Kelowna and take the 47-minute drive because you get your ass rattled to pieces trying to land at Penticton Airport. Russell likes a little corn with his melted butter. Fair enough. I do like a little bit of melted butter, little lemon, a little tahine. You like cooking spuds on the fire? I've never done that. I've never cooked potatoes over the fire because I'm afraid it's going to take forever. Like I'm afraid of throwing a potato on there, wrapping it in aluminum foil, throwing it on there, and like a half hour later, being like, "This is going to be delicious," and cutting it open and discovering that it's still raw in the middle. Like, do you do like a full spud, or do you cube it first, and then how long? Right? How long do you do it for? Corn right out of the field, raw, is delicious, but charring it a bit to caramelize the sugars is equally amazing in a different way. Yeah, I get that. But that's kind of where I'm coming from as well. Russell says, favorite food starting with R. Nachos. If I was to start with an R, what would my favorite food be? Radishes? No. Like, I never thought about a favorite. Like, I never thought about the alphabet of favorite foods. Like, what's your favorite food starting with A? What's your favorite food starting with B? What is my favorite food starting with A? Avocado? I'm not going down this rabbit hole right now. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, and filet gumbo. Are you telling me what I should be cooking next? So there are two like specific schools of jambalaya, right? There's the Cajun, and there's the shite. Do 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 do. Give me some oven. Pioneer woman. Okay, I'm looking for the two because there are two styles of jambalaya, two major styles of jambalaya. I gotta look this up. There are two primary methods of making jambalaya, differentiated by the presence or absence of tomatoes. The African American variation. It was prepared and eaten in West Africa using tomatoes introduced to West Africans by the French. And then there's Cajun. No, I used tomatoes. So, oh right, okay, so Cajun and Creole. I'm just taking a look. The trinity of celery, peppers, and onions. Chicken and sausage, such as andouille or smoked sausages. Next, vegetables and tomatoes, which are added to cook, followed by seafood, rice, and stock are added in equal proportion. Yeah, so I did Creole. Yeah, because Cajun is a sort of more of a brown color. Creole. Yes to, whoops, what that? Destiny says, yes to spuds on the fire, then smothered with real butter. I can't believe it's not butter. But how long do you Grace says, I did not get the reference, but I'm not in the best brain today. Russell says, there are some totally gross foods starting with R. Radishes, Brussels sprouts. First of all, I think radishes are fine. I wouldn't put them on my list of favorites, but I like radishes. Brussels sprouts sounds disgusting. Wait, there's good ice cream, Rocky Road, which is actually pretty solid. Country Boy says, my wee Scottish mother-in-law makes an incredible Cajun jambalaya. Good to know. Never say no to a good bowl of jambalaya. Or to a bowl of good jambalaya. Raspberry chocolate. That sounds like a good pudding. Or a mousse. Hell yeah. Grace likes her jambalaya with the tomatoes. So you like the Creole. So the Creole is... anyway, I'm going to move along because otherwise I'm going to just get rabbit holed. Russet in foil, seasoned with butter. I typically forget about it for a bit because I'll be shooting the breeze with the boys. Oh, let's do a Hank Williams song. Yeah, I wouldn't have picked that up because I was going to say, like, I'm not a big Hank Williams fan, but I'm getting like music and the word jambalaya in happening at the back of my head, but I don't think it's the right song. Is there another song that references jambalaya? Zach says, Hank Williams is a surprise favorite of mine, considering my age. That's a legit statement, Zach, for sure. But like, so your spuds on the fire. When you say forget about them for a bit, does you mean like you forget about them for like 40 minutes? Or do you mean you forget about them for like a couple of hours? Russell says, my mom-in-law made this my mom-in-law made this my mom-in-law made this ridiculous hot sauce back when we used to live together and had a massive kitchen. She would make her hot sauce. I'd walk into the kitchen and immediately start coughing. I, by the way, asked last year for City Girls hot sauce recipe because I have never tried to make one that is fermented. Is that the word I'm looking for? She would put hot sauce on everything. She couldn't taste her food otherwise, so she said. She would put hot sauce on toast. I would probably try that, actually. I do like a hot sauce. It's got to be a fruity or like a big flavor hot sauce, not just the burn, because I don't love it for just the burn. For sure. Yeah, I'd like to try it from... Is fermented the right word, or am I looking for another word that is similar in meaning? You know, when you put your hot sauce away for a while to do stuff? What is City Girls hot sauce? Fermented? Fermented? Potatoes in the fire have so many variables. Type of wood changes temperature. Type of tater also makes a big difference to cook time. Yeah, I would probably do russets. And I know that like if I throw it under an oak fire or a freaking maple fire, yeah. I'm thinking that what's happening is we wait until it goes down to embers and then we wrap our potates and throw them into the embers. That's what I'm thinking happens here. See, now I want cheese and toast. Just a little touch of hot sauce. I've been using a lot the one. Sorry, I'm switching into a French mindset there. Lately, the one that I've been using the most is one that Scott sent me. It's a hot sauce with mango, and I think that makes a nice hot sauce. Russell says, if you take a mound of cheese and melt it for a few seconds, does the taste change? Yes, absolutely. Melted cheese tastes different. Now, if you're just melting for a few seconds, you're not fundamentally melting it down to that sort of waxy substance. But so it's not going to be completely at the melted cheese taste. But yeah, of course. Jambalaya and papaya are almost the same thing. I don't know what you're talking about, Zach. Country Boy says russets take less time, softer, less dense flesh. Well, yeah, that's why I would do russets, because I would be hungry and be like, I'm going to make potatoes, and they better be ready soon, like at 20 minutes, half hour. I don't want to be waiting 45 minutes for my damn potatoes. That's why I would go for russets. And russets are easy to find at the grocery store as well. Like, I don't want to be, well, Yukon Gold also. They would take longer than russets, wouldn't they? Why do I have that backwards? I mean, both are a nice potato. They're both very sort of basic in a lot of ways. You know, the Germans have many more kinds of potatoes than we do. Russell says, I buy a goat cheese stick wrapped in cranberry sauce thing. Found it's best to heat it up for 20 seconds, then stir it up. That sounds amazing. Hells yes. Put them on a grate a couple of inches above the coals, said Zach. Okay. Get some airflow going. And also it's a little hotter right above the fire, right? Right above the coals, I mean. I love this idea. Well, I mean, look, I also partly love this idea because I miss being in the woods at night with a fire and like a tarp. In the boreal, Russell. I say that like you don't live in a spectacular piece of forest, right? I mean, that's not the boreal. That's the, was it mixed broadleaf? What's that? Is it mixed broadleaf? Because I think that's what the forest around Montreal is. Montreal is primarily situated in the mixed wood plains ecozone, a humid continental region originally dominated by temperate deciduous forest and now characterized by significant urbanization. It's the most southern extent of Canada's forest cover, historically supporting diverse species like sugar maple, yellow bitch, yellow birch, god damn it, and white pine. Though less than 10% of the original natural forest remains due to agriculture and development. Like you got some really nice. I kind of feel that you're not as far south as I am. That's the thing. You're further north than I am. So I don't know which forest zone you're in. But I shall look up zone 5B for plant hardiness. Okay. But I'm looking for forest zone. Humid continental climate with warm summers and colder, longer winters. I'm looking for like info on what the specific forest around you is. Raspberry Rock says, when it's really hot, do you sleep in the sleeping bag or on top? Is it important to have vents on both ends of the tent? So, yet vents because I need airflow. Here's what I do. So I got my sleeping bag. I got my little inner liner thing, whatever. I cannot close my sleeping bag unless it's cold. And even then, I kind of want to have my sleeping bag open for two reasons. A, I'm the type who needs to have like 1 foot in the cold air to sleep properly. And also, I'm claustrophobic. So being zipped all the way up drives me nuts. But I have a wool blanket that I'll put over me. I need to have a sleeping bag at least under me. Over me is fine. It's got to be unzipped almost all the way or the whole damn way. Like I don't want to have a foot out and getting frostbite, but I got to have some kind of airflow happening. So I'm not on top of the sleeping bag, but I have it open so that I can move A, and so that there's a little airflow B. And yeah, I need to have the vents open for sure, no matter how freaking cold it is. Country boy, Zach meant paella, the Spanish rice and seafood dish cooked in a shallow pan. I've never made paella. I'd like to try, but isn't it a specific kind of rice? Raspberry Russell says, you said mixed broadleaf, but I think you meant to say most best leaf. Whatevs. I'm dissing the forest around you like it's not spectacular, right? I mean, I live in urban forest, which means small chunks, small patches. I'm having more of the black bourbon, by the way. Zach says, my ex used to put kimchi on a grilled cheese. Then we'd go camping and she'd make me carry her cans of fermented spicy cabbage. Fermented is the word I was looking for. Thank you, Mr. Zach. Russell's wife has a fermented hot sauce recipe that I would love to know about because I'd like to try fermenting my hot sauce. I got a buddy who OGs will know, Robin. He makes kimchi, like a simplified kimchi. I'm sort of coming around on stuff like that. I used to like knee-jerk hate all that crap, but I'm coming around to the flavors. Like I like it a lot more than I used to. And I would totally put that on toast or a grilled cheese for sure. Absolutely. Russell is in mixed forest. You're the best of all worlds. Yeah, I think in a lot of ways you do, for sure. Excuse me. Paella. No, sorry. Zach is saying unto country boy. Just likes the whatevs forest. City girl loves her kimchi. Sure. So any short grain rice will work for paella, yeah. But bomba rice is traditional. Okay. So if I do ever try to make paella, I'll let you know. I thought that paella like had a bunch of seafood in it. Like the reason I've never tried to make it is because I thought I was gonna have to put like freaking scallops and crap in it. Excuse me while I take another sip of my whiskey. This is the black bourbon again. For some reason, we have gone of late from 12 people watching to 14. Those who have joined us late, I'm deeply sorry for the quality of the broadcast. But yeah, I should try making paella one day. My girls like seafood in a big way. in a big way. They like fish. When I say my girls, I mean La Madame and the eldest daughter. The youngest daughter doesn't like anything, man. Russell says, "Okay, Jess, you're camping beside. Okay, Jess, you're camping beside a rushing stream on a hot day. Are you fishing or swimming? Also, you know that whatever fish you might catch are safe to eat because of your stupid allergies. If I knew that whatever I could." Okay, so here's the thing. Like, I don't fish at all because I don't know from sight what's a safe fish from one that'll kill me, right? But so if I know that everything is safe, I would love to catch my lunch, and I would love to put it over the fire in that sort of the native the First Nations way, right, where you sort of butterfly it or whatever the term is, and you sort of you put two sticks through it and then put it on a cross stick the way Ray Mears did for Lars Felt. May he rest in peace. In that episode where Russell was camping in Sweden. Now I know that method is most used for like salmon and stuff, but I'd love to know if a white fish, though they're milder in flavor and maybe construction, would be able to stand up to that. I've always dreamed of doing a fish that way. So if I'm in a place and I know that fishing means I would catch something that I could eat, I would love to be able to do that, because I've always had this envy for guys like Joe Robinette and all these, who are like, okay, I'm out here, I'm in the woods, I got to catch my lunch. I'm like, whoa, you're going to catch your lunch? And he catches his lunch. It's like, I don't know, perch or whatever. So it's something that, whatever. And he prepares it and eats it and eats the lunch that he caught. For some of you, that's not that big a deal, but for me, he ate the lunch that he caught. Because I'm not going to do it. In real life, I won't do it because I don't know. Fudge, was that a trout that I just caught? I can't eat that. Now what do I do? Guilt, right? I would love to be able to just fish for my lunch. I would love it. It's a dream of mine. Country Boy says, when I talk about food, I always get more viewers. You're referring to some. Hold on. Where is that book right here? I'm going to try to do this without knocking over whiskey bottles. Where are you, for God's sakes? Somewhere here. I have a book on like camping eats that I showed off when I think Kevin Callan was on that episode, and he said, "Oh, I know that guy," and brought him on to talk about the book and everything. And that was a great episode because I was not expecting that to happen, and it did, and that showed sort of the magic of what can really happen when you let it. I do think a lot about eating in the woods because I have to, because I can't in any way just pack a fishing rod and say, I'm going to catch my food. Oh no, it's a salmon. I can't eat that. Oh no, it's a trout. I can't eat that. Oh no, it's something else with red flesh. Whatever else might exist out there. I can't eat that. Destiny says, clarification, the boreal and taiga are similar, but with a few trees in one, but not the other. like Siberian cedar tree and taiga and climate diff. I do believe that taiga and boreal are different in some regions but not others. I think that taiga in, say, Siberia I'm remembering this wrong, but I do know that in some areas the two are inclusive. Jess, how do you feel about tapping maple trees? Well, I mean, we do it. I mean, dude, I'm Quebecois. Tapping a maple tree is a cultural imperative. Um, and I like maple syrup. So, of course, I'm going to be pro tapping maple trees. What I don't know about that, though, I've wondered about this for a long time, is do you tap the same trees every year? Or does like tapping the same tree every year weaken the tree over time? Like, I don't know. I've never looked into it, but it's the kind of thing that I wonder every now and again. Like, do you have to give certain trees a break? Like, you don't have to, like crop rotation. You got to give this field a break. So leave it fallow for the year. Use these three instead, and then switch. So now you're leaving that one okay. I mean, you're leaving that one alone, and you're using these three, including the one that you left fallow the previous year. Like, is it's not a cockroach. He is in my way, though. It is. She. Thing. It's okay. Live another day. I don't know. What do you think about tapping maple trees? Like, am I missing something? Is there like it's easy to think there's a cruelty issue here, right? Because you're sticking a tap into a tree and using the fluid that the tree should be able to just use by itself, right? Country Boy says that taiga and the boreal are the same thing. Yeah, okay, so that's what I was trying to get at, but I wasn't like I think in certain areas of Europe and maybe Russia, they use the word taiga instead of boreal. I think that here taiga is more of a zone, but they seem to be the same thing. Two trees scream, well, you got to be like that. Yep, you tap the same trees every year. There's no negative. In fact, some trees are better producers than others. Interesting. They're probably stronger trees. If you drive by the maple syrup forest, all the trees have the lines permanently. Yeah, I did. I do see that. I wasn't sure if it was permanent, like year after year, or if they just sort of string all this crap up every year. Good to know. Zach says they have no mouth, but they must scream. So trees communicate, according to science. Diving too deep on this kind of stuff really leaves me wondering. So I tend not to do it too much. But like, I remember this bit in a Leonard Cohen book from, I mean, I don't remember if it's like The Favorite Game or Beautiful Losers, but one of his two fiction books. I just realized there's only ever going to be two of those. No, he's talking about how like scientists discovered that, carrots or vegetables or whatever make like an electromagnetic scream when you pull them out, which sent vegetarians the world over sacrificing themselves on hot dog stands, kind of thing. Um, I wonder a lot about stuff like that, about how we know that trees communicate in either a basic or a mysterious way. And like something as simple as carrots are alive while they're in the ground, right? What's the demarcation point between alive and dead for a carrot? And is that Leonard Cohen line real? Because if it is, then there is no guilt-free eating, right? We are all just part of the same circle of life as a hyena picking at the corpse that a lion brought down, so that a lioness really brought down so that she could feed her family. And the gazelle that's lying there dead is, there's no guilt for eating, in which case, is there any guilty eating? I mean, yeah, factory farms, but I mean, oh, I don't want to be thinking about this right now because I'm going to bore the crap out of you guys. But it is the kind of thing that I ruminate on when there aren't other things to ruminate on. It's 11:30, people. What the hell? It's 11:30. I was supposed to be done a half hour ago. We gave him existential dread. Whoops. Yeah, I know. Vegetarians sacrificing themselves on hot dog stands. The best quotable quote of the night. I wish I knew what page that was on because I would read you the quote. Let me see. Let me damn see. The saga of light matter interaction and magneto-optical effects. No. Songs of Leonard Cohen lyrics. No. How the heart approaches what it yearns. That's definitely Leonard Cohen. Hold on a second. I'm looking for a quote. This is... I'm looking, but I cannot find. I'm just going to have to reread The Favorite Game. Okay. Secret cabals of vegetarians habitually gather under the sign to exchange contraband from beyond the vegetable barrier. In their pinpoint eyes dances their old dream, the total fast. One of them reports a new atrocity. Oh, fuck off. Hold on a second here, people. Sorry about the language. I'm not sorry. YouTube is not going to demonetize this at this point. One of them reports a new atrocity published without compassionate comment by the editors of Scientific American. Quote, it has been established that when pulled from the ground, a radish produces an electronic scream. Not even the triple bill for 65 will comfort them tonight with a mad laugh born of despair. One of them throws himself on a hot dog stand, disintegrating on the first chew into pathetic withdrawal symptoms. The rest watch him mournfully and then separate into the Montreal entertainment section. The news is more serious than any of them thought. One is ravished by a steakhouse with sidewalk ventilation. In a restaurant, one argues with the waiter that he ordered tomato, but then in a suicide of gallantry, he agrees to accept the spaghetti with the spaghetti meat sauce mistake. Not a carrot. A radish. I had misremembered the quote. Did I read the novel The Most Dangerous Game? At this point, I don't remember. The Most Dangerous Game. Most Dangerous Game, also published as The Hounds of Zaroff, is a short story by American author, screenwriter, and journalist Richard Connell. I don't think I have. I do not believe I have. Country Boy says, the trees scream bloody murder, but it's a pity humans can't hear, so we don't hear them. If lobsters can't feel pain, then trees definitely can't. We don't know if lobsters feel pain or not. Vegetarians sacrificing themselves on hot dog stands. The best quote of the entire internet. We have given him existential dread, but I already have existential dread. I have a dread over, is it existentialism or an epiphany? So many epiphanies, so little time. A root veg is a root veg. If a radish screams, they all scream. That's true. Fair enough, mister. That's the one about hurting people? About hunting people? No, it's not. Oh, the Most Dangerous Game. I don't know. The Hounds of Zaroff is a short story by American author, screenwriter, and journalist Richard Connell. First published in Collier's on January 19th, 1924. Big game hunter from New York City, traveling by yacht to the Amazon rainforest for a jaguar hunt. Richard Rainsford swims to Ship Trap Island and finds an opulent chateau inhabited by two Cossacks. Another big game hunter. This sounds like it's the one about hunting humans. Oh, Raspberry Russell says, yes, hunting people. Yeah, I haven't read it. It's a short story, though, right? I will read it. The Most Dangerous Game. I shall read it. And I will let you know what I think. Okay, hold on. Okay, so Russell then goes on with, okay, so you're enjoying the thunderstorm, eating your stew, wondering about corn on the cob on the fire. When you get the note, it's the most dangerous game. Survive 24 hours and you get $1 billion. Do I have any kind of weapon with me? Because a billion? Personally, with $1 billion, I could solve hunger, man. Like, I could keep $100 million for living off of for the rest of my life and live beautifully, and I could solve fucking hunger. I could fund AIDS research. I would do whatever it took. Because to me, everyone else looking for that $1 billion is just looking to become a billionaire. And I have grown up to believe eat the rich. You could live for weeks off the fat. So, do I have a weapon of any sort? Do I have a hunting rifle? Do I have anything? Like, did I come here as a hunter? You know, Ender's Game is not okay. Fair enough. Big game hunters get bored of hunting animals, right? Okay, I get it. There are some movies. Okay, Russell says you have knives. So I'm gonna, if one of them is like something stupid like an LMF2, I'll lash that to a stick as to make like a spear because it's got holes specifically for that purpose. Dumb, but whatever. Um, yeah, I'm gonna solve hunger. Oh, okay, but wait. Russell's throwing another curveball at me, I think. I have 10 million bucks, and you know the zombie apocalypse starts in 5 days. What do you do? I have 10 million. Zombie apocalypse starts in 5 days. What do I do? I buy an island. Look, if the zombie apocalypse starts in 5 days, I buy an island and I'm thinking about World War Z. I believe it was one of the books where everyone who died turned into a zombie, no matter what. Whether they were bit by zombies or they died of natural causes, they came back. In which case, I'm like, I buy an island and I bring all my favorite people to the island. And then somebody dies by heart attack and turns into a zombie and creates the same freaking problem, right? So, what's my context here? Are we talking about like a Walking Dead scenario, World War Z, whatever it is, scenario? Like, if somebody dies on my island, do they turn into a zombie even if they've never been bit? Like, are we talking about, like, a worldwide pandemic kind of thing? Because to me, getting away from that shite is the secret. It's not buying an AR-15 and gunning my way through zombie-infested cities in search of people to find me heroic, right? It's building a community of people who have compatible skills, right? Like, so somebody might be a carpenter, somebody might be good enough with their hands to become a blacksmith. I mean, in Montreal, there are like maybe a half dozen blacksmiths. So if the zombie apocalypse strikes tomorrow, the chances of one of them coming to my little island are pretty slim. At the end of the day, if the zombie apocalypse comes, 10 million or not, who the hell wouldn't just eat the front of a 45 before the whole becoming a zombie becomes a possibility? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all think we want to start a post-apocalyptic family out in the woods somewhere, blah, 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 hunting for food. But human nature is that our little um, our little tribal groups would just eat each other alive, right? You got oil, we need oil. You got fuel, we need fuel. You got carrots, we need carrots. You're ripping radishes out of the ground and they're electronically screaming, and we can't handle that. A billion versus the guilt, you wouldn't do it, Jess. You're too good a person. Yeah. I think you're not wrong. I mean, here's the thing. Like, nobody can earn $1 billion. I'm not gonna dive down that rabbit hole. Won't have time to buy an island. You're absolutely right. I don't think 5 days is enough to research whether an island has the resources to survive. I think you're probably right. And I'm thinking you're right. I have a friend who owns a boat, a sailboat, and he says, you know, if everything goes to hell, I just let slip the lines and leave. If you don't have fish allergies, you can live on a freaking sailboat, right? Ian says, fly to an island and ship all the off-grid and food supplies you need. Use a jet so it's there on time. I guess if I have 10 million bucks, like, I don't care about saving money for the future, because who the hell is going to care about money when, like, zombies are munching on the bankers, right? So, okay. Fly to an island. Bring all the stuff I need. Hilariously, some billionaires are trying to buy an island off Albania right now. I bought a Chinese ruby sharpening stone on Prime Day, and it's great for the price. 3,000 grit synthetic stone, says Zach. Nice purchase. A ruby sharpening stone. I didn't buy anything for Prime Day. Maybe I should have. Sailboats are great until your water membranes are done. then no more fresh water. Deal with it when it comes, for sure. Just take the island. Yeah, I should take the island. But I mean, I don't want to take the island, like kick off the people who are there. You know, I mean, I think if I like alight on an island somewhere in the South Pacific that hasn't been frequented by anyone yet, yeah, I mean, or right, it's got to be an island that doesn't have a huge tourist population, like a huge tourist. Interesting, for sure. Country Boy says a sailboat. Country Boy says a sailboat is the best option I can think of. Yeah, I think so too, for sure, for sure. Hey, because here's the thing: you run out of fuel for your diesel, or even if you have an electric engine, whatever, and it runs out of juice, you're not dead in the middle of the ocean, right? That's why sails are the key. Zach says synthetic ruby is really cheap and durable, harder and cuts faster than ceramic. Like maybe link me to what you bought for on the Prime Day, because I have a lot of sort of micron kind of sheets of sharpening paper or membrane or whatever. I'm always on the lookout for something cool and sharpening related. Country Boy says, I bought a dome shaver during Prime Days. A dome shaver? Is that like for this? How well does it work? Do you get closer than I do? Because I would love to just be able to and not have any shade of this hair. Excuse me. Hey Jim, holy crap, you're late to the party and the party is still going. Audi, yes, I was gonna get off. Oh snap, I was gonna get off like a half hour ago. So I'll go for another 8 minutes and then we're shutting her down no matter what, because I am gonna shut her down no matter what. Going to shut her down no matter what. 8 minutes. 7 minutes. How you doing, Jim? I'm glad to see you here. Because I mean, with your new schedule, I thought we kind of weren't going to see you, but here I am, crazy late. But it's a holiday tomorrow in Canada. It's Canada Day. It's July 1st. It's our version of whatever you guys call July the 4th. Independence Day, America Day, Independence Day. You're still at work. I know. That's dome shaver. So is it like, is it a head shaver or is it a shaver shaped like a, that did not work at all. Let me start that again. Is that a shaver for your head or is it some kind of like normal shaver but shaped like a dome? Zach sent the link via Discord. Okay, I shall check that out after we're done here with, he said, picking up his phone. Discord. Amazon grits, polishing, sharpening, whetstone, kitchen. Okay, I shall check that out. And if it's affordable, I may purchase. Oh my land, it's affordable, all right. So it's a 3,000 grit. So, like, I would see that as being something for like polishing up something that you've been sharpening. Country Boy says, yes, it's a head shaver. Haven't used it yet because I bashed my head at work and it's too bruised to even touch right now. What? How do you do these things? Because I would love a shaver that got me closer than this. Jim says, sure, Scott, that's what we'll call it. A work injury. Right. I keep seeing these head shavers on TikTok and stuff, but I'm not gonna, where they're like they sort of run it over their head and get this like right down to the skin. But I don't trust TikTok ads, right? I don't even trust Instagram ads. I bought relatively recently something that I thought was going to turn my foggy kind of or misty headlight into like a sparkling clear sharp headlight lens, and it just didn't work. So I just don't believe any of that crap. Zach says, my uncle uses a Razor Rock Smile DE razor for head shaving after I converted him to traditional shaving. DE. Here's the thing, Zach. I would love to use my straight, but I'm afraid of like doing that sort of, the ham slice. Because it took me a lot of shaves to get to do this and this without bleeding everywhere. And I'm afraid. Oh, crap. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe if I had a safety, I do have a safety razor. Actually, maybe I should just try that. I have one of those, like, the safety razors where you screw and the top opens and you put in one of those double-sided razor blades and then you close it. Maybe I should just try that. Yeah, maybe I should just try that. I'm making fun of myself because I just heard the tone of voice I used. Country Boy says I'm an accident waiting to happen, my friend. It's almost daily that I hurt myself. I just don't report it. Fair enough. Did we get a verdict on swimming in the stream versus fishing? If I know that I'm not allergic to any of the fish I can catch, I'm gonna fish because I'm dying to try cooking my fish over coals. DE is double-edged. Yeah, so it's the same thing as I'm saying about a safety razor, right? Piss. Hold on. Double-edged. Yes, that's where we are. Russell says, I would buy a ham slice of Justice Head. That's disgusting and hilarious. We're 23:59, so we're 1 minute from the closing of the live stream. So I'll just start you off by saying to everyone, because I'll make this last for the next minute. Because once I shut this down, I gotta clean all this crap up. I may do that in the morning, though. He said, putting his, yeah, I'd like to try to just shave the crap out of that. Whatevs. Between now, it's midnight. So here we are. Between now and next week, next Tuesday, everybody, please be safe, be sane, be healthy, and be kind to one another. That's not right. That's not right at all.